Let me take you back in time, back to 1999 to be exact. Shows like CatDog, Hey Arnold, Rocket Power, and of course the Rugrats have all taken over Nickelodeon. Within just a few years, Nickelodeon released so many popular shows and became one of the top dogs of cartoon animation. And what could Nickelodeon do to keep that ball rolling? Well, that's when we get the very first Nicktoons crossover. The Rugrats meet aaahh monsters. The success of this episode inspired so many other great crossovers, like who could forget Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, or the Rugrats Go Wild. What made the crossover even more epic and unexpected was the fact that the aaahh monsters had been off the air for more than 2 years when this episode aired, making it the very last time we saw the aaahh monsters on Nickelodeon, outside of reruns of course. The episode I'm talking about here is called Ghost Story, and it follows the Rugrats as they're having a sleepover at what I believe is Tommy's house. They gather around the battery-powered campfire and all take turns making up a scary story. The episode follows the story they're telling, so without any further ado, let's jump into it. The episode begins in a dark room on a stormy night. The babies are all gathered around an electric campfire making marshmallows. Tommy says that they should sing a song, but Angelica says no one sings around campfires. I'm not sure what kind of campfires she's going to, but that's all we did at the ones I went to.
So, should we sing a song?
Nah, nobody sings around a campfire.
She says that they should do the grown-up thing and tell scary stories. Tommy tells Chucky not to worry and reminds him that it's all make-believe. Angelica tells the babies that she'll start the scary story and everyone else can just take turns telling the rest of it. Kind of out of character for Angelica to allow the babies to help with the story, but good for her on being nice, at least for the time being. The story starts at a spooky abandoned house high on a hill. The top of the house had a light shining and nobody knew what it was.
There was a light that shined out every night. Everybody wondered what the light was, but they was all too scared to go look. Then, one day, the scariest little boy in the world also knew it. Chucky Finster! Ah!
Angelica makes Chucky the main character of the story and says he's going to be the one to find out what the light is in the attic. He's scared, but they all talk Chucky into playing along. She continues telling the story, but Tommy interrupts and says that they're supposed to take turns telling the story. The storytelling gets passed over to Chucky.
The boy opens the door, and he finds the most beautiful-ass room with lots of flowers and big fluffy pillows and bowls filled to the top with yummy candy. And so the house wasn't haunted after all, and the scaredy little boy wasn't scared no more yet.
Angelica says that that wasn't scary, and he can't tell a story that's not scary and he has to restart. Chucky now says the house was dark, the pillows were hard, and the candy tastes awful. Angelica intervenes again and says that that's better, but it's still not even scary. So she adds a few things to his story. Cobwebs and a spooky picture on the wall. Oh, and she also adds this loud thumping noise that comes from the closet.
He turned the knob and opened the door, and there stood the ickiest, stinkiest, creepiest, scariest peoples anyone ever saw.
Hey, this is starting to get good.
Phil and Lil take over the story and lead Chucky to the stairs. As they begin to walk up, baby drool starts to leak from the steps. Turns out it was just Dill drooling, and I guess that was adding to the story. Chucky says he's tired and can't keep walking up the steps. Phil says that's okay and has a worm come help him go up the steps. Angelica again stops the story and says the worm isn't scary enough, it's just gross. She says from here on out, she's telling the story her way. Chucky gets angry and says he's done with her story and goes to sit on a chair. The chair turns out to be a ghost and starts to chase Chucky down the hall. Tommy takes over and begins to tell the story to help Chucky, and he becomes the ghost. A friendly Casper-like ghost who really wants to help Chucky make it to the attic.
I'm gonna tell the story now, and I say the ghost chasing the little boy wasn't really that big. Actually, he was kinda cute.
Then finally Angelica pops into the story as a witch and tells the babies they can't go to the attic door because it's locked. They can only get in if they have a key, but the key is behind one of the random doors in the hallway. Yep, that was Ickis, Crumb, and Oblina from aaahh Monsters. And oddly enough, they were just watching an episode of the Rugrats on their own TV. No, like they were actually watching this exact episode on TV, like live as it was happening. It even has Chucky's reaction to opening the door and finding them on their TV. Super meta. The rest of the babies start to open the other doors and it's just other monsters from aaahh Monsters. The babies go back down the hallway, but Angelica sends the monsters down to eat the babies. But Tommy comes up with a quick idea.
You monsters don't want to eat us.
Why not?
Because, there's a yummy chocolate pudding downstairs in the kitchen.
Chocolate pudding or babies?
It is a very hard decision. What do you think, Icky?
Ickis goes to taste Chucky and decides the pudding sounds much better. All the monsters head down to the kitchen and Tommy finds the key to the attic under a doormat. As they start to walk up the steps to the attic, Angelica grabs Chucky and...
That pudding trick might work on dumb monsters, but it don't work on smart witches like me.
But Angelica? There's a giant worm behind you!
Yeah, right, Spencer. What do you think? I was bored yesterday?
The worm comes up and licks Angelica, and it gives Chucky enough time to walk up to the attic. The babies finally make it to the top of the house, and it turns out the bright light at the top of the attic was just a giant teddy bear in a cozy bedroom. I'm going to assume it was a giant teddy bear nightlight in a cozy room because the babies made it there first. And I am kind of curious what would it have been if Angelica made it there first. But anyway, the babies all go to sleep on the bed and Angelica busts through the door.
This is the dumbest story I ever heard. You babies don't know anything. I'll tell you what's scary. Being all alone in a creepy old attic. In a haunted house. With all kinds of scary monsters.
She runs away screaming for her mom and the episode ends with the babies fast asleep next to the campfire. And that's Ghost Story. Such a great episode that perfectly executes what a crossover should look like. There are a few things I'd like to mention though. Tommy was extremely similar to Casper the Friendly Ghost. I kinda doubt that was a coincidence, so that's pretty cool that they gave a nod to Casper. And another thing, and I could be completely wrong about this, but Phil definitely resembles Gomez Addams. Do you see it? I can definitely see it. I was pretty bummed that we didn't get to see the adults interact in any way. A lot of my favorite parts of the show revolve around the adults, especially Stu, so that would have been nice. Oh, and I almost forgot, what is this scene? I wish they would have elaborated more on what this was. How were they watching Chucky in real time? Did the mansion have like security cameras set up where they were watching everything go down? Or were they watching the literal episode happen on television? Definitely makes me wonder what that was all about. Klasky Supo completely dominated Nickelodeon in the 90s, and crossing over two popular cartoons was definitely a recipe for success. I do have a question I want to ask you guys. Was there a crossover that you just didn't like? One that felt odd and out of place, but in a bad way? Let me know in the comments. I truly do appreciate every single person that takes the time to watch one of my videos. Whether you subscribe or like, or maybe you don't even like the video, I still appreciate that you took the time to watch it. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe and leave a like. I'm approaching 500 subscribers, and that's such a big deal for me. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, peace.